Hi, this is Nikhil from Nick Speaks Philosophy, and in this channel, I'll try to cover as much as possible about different school of thoughts in philosophy. Uh, how do they shape our thinking? How do they influence it? How did they influence me? And what kind of impact they had in the current state and in the state that they prevailed in and the future generations that they had. A little bit about myself. I'm Nikhil. As I said, I don't want to reveal my surname because I find it foolish. I'm 25, alone right now. Uh, so I try to mingle myself into different things so as to stop me from self-sabotaging. So the first, I would say chapter which I read ever in Paul Paul history, I would say political history or philosophy, I would say, is this chapter called Materialistic Conceptions of History. So this is a part of a book called Challenges to Capitalism, Marx, Lenin, and Mao. So in this chapter, certain really beautiful aspects of Marx have been covered, and I just want to talk about that. Let's celebrate Marx and Angel, his best friend, and how did they manufacture the thought process about different things in life. So the chapter starts with this concept of superstructure. So Marx says a very important thing and a very beautiful thing. He says that the means of production around us and the economic relation around that build the social relation of production, and ये जो social relation of production होती है that builds the whole superstructure. So what they're trying to say is that, so whatever means of production are there, whatever economies are there, so they interact in a way to make a structure which is called a social relations of production. So the economic relation build the social relation of production कि ठीक है, land labor capital they interact in some form in different ways and they build the hierarchy of social relations of production कि land का ये काम है, labor का ये काम है, capital का ये काम है, okay. And this whole social relation of production build the superstructure of society, and this is how we actually interact with each other. We determine our relationship with each other in this whole superstructure. So in fact it is not the society which is defining our relationships, it is the economic structure of the society which is defining our relationships. So this was a very beautiful concept which the Marx had given, and Marx summarizes this in his own ways by saying, in the social production of the existence, people inevitably enter into definite relations which are independent of their will, namely relations of production appropriate to a given stage in the development of the material forces of production. These relations build a legal and political superstructure, and to which correspond definite form of social consciousness. The mode of production of material life conditions the general process of social, political, and intellectual life. It is not the consciousness of people that determine their existence, but the social existence that determines their consciousness. So, how beautifully he summarizes this fact. He says that it is not the consciousness of people that determine the existence, but their social existence that determines their consciousness. So वो हम क्या बचपन में हमें पेरेंट्स बोलते थे कि how the kind of people that you surround yourself with, you are the byproduct of that. So exactly ये वही कह रहा है कि the kind of social relations that you have build a superstructure in the society, and this superstructure which you have in this whole modes of production, material production, builds your own consciousness and how you perceive your life around it. So this is a very beautiful societal formation which Marx had given in its own words. I think one of the most beautiful thing about Marx which I felt after reading him, whatever I could understand and comprehend, because Marx is just like Gita or Purana. You can have your own interpretations around it. But one thing which I find really interesting was that Marxism really emerged from the practicality of life. So I never read Marx as a school of thought or something which is in philosophy or Paul history or Paul eco, whatever branches of study that you want to put it in, because Marx is something which is everywhere. If you ever been acquainted with the academia of Paul history, Paul science or political economics, Marx is almost somewhere or the other हर जगह है वहाँ पे. So उस बंदी को मुझे एक बात बहुत अच्छी लगती है कि unlike any other philosopher, I would say, he always reasons out things. मतलब मार्क्स ने जब भी कुछ बोला, अपनी विचारधारा बताई है किसी भी चिरस्थायी फॉर्म में, चिरस्थायी इज लाइक इन अ परमानेंस. So he always gives sufficient reason of science and logic to support it. And मार्क्स मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब बहुत ही एक कॉन्शियस लेवल ऑफ थिंकिंग है. And this is something which I find in contradiction to our religion, I would say. Religion of all forms, be it Hinduism, Islam or Christianity, like the basic religions which we see around us. उनसे कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन ये है कि यहाँ पे बहुत ही कॉन्शियस लेवल पे बात कर रहा है मार्क्स, और हमारे रिलीजन्स जिनकी खुद की एक विचारधारा है ऑब्वियसली, they talk on a very subconscious level. So Marx बिल्कुल he talks about his own senses, like वो बोलता है कि पहले जो प्रेजेंट है उसको तो ठीक कर लो, बाद की तो बाद में देख लो ना कि भगवान के पास जाकर क्या करना है. So that's the beauty around it, and that's why Marx even called religion as a consolation for the deprivation of humans, which is in a way very beautiful also, and in a way very ruthless also, right? But yeah, like there are very beautiful things in Marx if you read about it. And yeah,